So this is my B.A.T deck, Burning Abyss Artifact Traptrix. Alright, so I might make a slightly different version of this later on, where I put in more artifacts, more Burning Abyss, and more Traptrix. But for now, I'm using just 2 Burning Abyss monsters, 3 copies of each. So I'm using Sir, and I'm using Graph. Sir specials from the graveyard, Graph specials from the deck. We got Artifact. Of course, they get their effects if they're sent to the graveyard. Artifact Moral Tech. When he's special summoned during your opponent's turn, you can destroy one face-up card on the field. And of course, you can set it in your spawn trap zone. Artifact Scythe. When this is special summoned during your opponent's turn, your opponent can't summon monsters from their extra deck. That's good to stop synchros, fusions, XYZs. And you can set it in your spawn trap card zone. The main thing for the artifacts is it helps you hide your back row, hide your traps, like your bombless and stuff. Like if you summon Mermello, add a bombless, you got a couple artifacts in hand, like at least 2, or 1 is enough, but 2 would be better. So now you have 3 cards, shuffle them in your hand, then set them. Now your opponent has to guess which one it is if they're trying to MST, right? But if they be like, you know what, I'm not gonna guess, I'm gonna save the MST and use Excess Hunter Black Rose, well, they just helped you out because now you get your artifacts effects. So it's a win-win situation for you. This is the Traptrix Marmello. When this card is normal summon, you can add 1 trap hole, normal trap from your deck to your hand. The targets are Space-Time Trap Hole, Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare, and Bottomless Trap Hole. When Marmello is special summoned, you can target 1 spell trap card your opponent controls destroyed. So it's an extra back row hate card. It's good in case somebody sides in like Imprisoner or something. All you have to do is just special summon her with the effect of Dion, and then pop it, and then your artifacts and Burning Abyss monsters will be live again. This is Traptrix Dion. When she's normal summoned, you can target 1 Traptrix monster in your graveyard, special summon that target in face-up defense position, and it doesn't negate that monster's effect. When this card is special summoned, you can target 1 normal trap hole trap card in your graveyard, set that target, but banish it during the end phase of your next turn if still on the field. So obviously you'll use it to bring back Bombless, Nightmare, or Space-Time Trap Hole, so that we can reuse them. So this is how you reuse them. So you'll summon 1 Dion to grab another Dion, and then you can get back a Bombless or something, set it, exceed, have fun, and rinse and repeat. Exodios lets you recycle all your monsters, so you can use them all over and over again. You get 2 Exodios on the field, you can go into a Gustav Max. Rank up magic. This will let you turn your Dante, your Alucard, and you make a equip Engineer into Artifact Randall, or Crimson Knight, Constellar Pleiades, or Tyrus, Keeper of Genesis. So those are your rank 5 monsters you rank up into from those 3. Double Cyclone helps you pop your opponent's back row, because you always gotta get rid of their shit, but also helps you pop your artifact monsters so you can get their effects. Artifact Movement helps you pop your opponent's back row, plus it lets you get artifact monsters in your back row for Double Cyclone's effect. Artifact Sanctum, so that way you can summon your artifact monsters straight from your deck. Especially if your opponent's trying to do some type of thing like a Karakuri OTK or something, or an Infernity like OTK or something, where they have to exceed from their extra deck. You can use Sanctum, bring out Scythe, and Scythe will prevent them from doing so. Space Time Trap Hole, good against pendulum monsters. If they summon a lot, of course it costs you a lot of life points, but at least you'll get rid of them, and you should be able to beat your opponent afterwards, right? But typically you might want to wait until they exceed summon or single summon, whatever type of summon they're gonna do, right? And then bounce that, because it'll be less life points. Instead of paying 2,000 life points to get rid of 2 monsters, you only pay 1,000 to get rid of 1. So that's always good. And since this doesn't destroy, it's good against Stardust and stuff like that. And this probably doesn't target. Yeah, because it says when your opponent special summons a monster or monsters from the hand or extra deck, shuffle the monster or monsters into the deck. It's implying you could do multiples, not just one, so this card probably doesn't target, so that'd be awesome, right? Traptrix, Trap Hole Nightmare. When a monster on your opponent's side of the field that was special summoned this turn activates his effect, negate the effect, and if you do, destroy that monster. It's good against stuff like Black Rose, Exciton Knight, number 101, so forth and so forth. Boundless, good if your opponent pendulum summons, or just summons a whole bunch of monsters at the same time. You could just boundless them, or just one monster in general, just get rid of it. And since Boundless, Nightmare, and Space Time, they're searchable, makes them even better, right? Because you could search them out and use them. Exciton Knight, because he's broken. You could pop everything on the field except for himself by detaching material. Sky Blaster, detach one material. I never say his first effect. I'm always with his second effect, but that's what you want to use as his second effect. But his first effect, detach material and put face down one monster on the field. Face down defense position. It's good if you want to run over something, but the interesting thing is, by detaching an extra material, you just flat out get rid of the monster. So why put it face down when you could just throw it right back where it came from, back into the extra deck, back into his deck. But there might be the rare occasions you want the monster in the grave, so putting it face down, running it over would probably be a good option. The effect is there, so you can use it if you want. But typically you detach 2 materials and send one face-up card on the field back into the decks, or back to where it came from. Number 101, detach 2 materials, take 1 special summon monster, and your opponent controls this in an attack position, add it as a material to this monster. If this card would be destroyed by battle or card effect, detach a material instead. Number 101 black. Number 50 Black Shippercorn, detach a material, target 1 monster on the field whose attack is equal to or less than Black Shippercorn, and your opponent takes damage. Takes 1,000 damage if you send that card to graveyard, and Black Shippercorn cannot attack the turn it does that effect. Dante, detach a material, mill up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. He gets 500 for each card sent to the graveyard by this effect. This sending it up to 3 cards is a cost of his effect, not the effect. So it can't be negated by Skill Drain, Veiler, Breakthrough Skill, so forth and so forth. After he attacks, he switches to defense mode, and of course he loses that power boost at the end of turn. Since his milling effect is a cost and not an effect, it won't activate the effects of other things like Shadal's, for example, but it will activate the Burning Abyss, so that's what matters. Zen main, 2100 defense. If it would be destroyed by battle card effect, detach a material. During the end phase in which this effect was applied, destroy 1 card on the field. Alucard, detach a material, destroy 1 set card on the field. Make an equip engineer. Detach one material. Target one attack position monster you control. Switch it to defense mode, and it won't. For the rest of the turn, it can't be destroyed by battle card effect. Wind up Arsenal Zenmayo. Detach a material. Target 2 set cards and destroy them. It's obviously a stronger version than Alucard. Shark Fortress. Detach a material. Target one monster on the field, and that monster target one monster you control, and that monster can attack twice this turn. Typically, you might target him unless you have a monster that's stronger. Target the stronger monster. Tyrus, Keeper of Genesis. While this card has XYZ materials, it can't be destroyed by opponent's card effects. At the end of the battle phase, during either player's turn where this card attacked or was attacked, destroy one card on the field. During the your end phase, detach one material from this card. Constellar-Pleiades. During either player's turn, you can detach one material to target one card on the field and bounce it back to your opponent's hand. If somebody tries to Dark Hole him, you can target him for his own effect, so you can summon him again later. Artifact Durandal. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can activate one of these effects. When a monster effect is activated on the field, or when a normal spell / trap card is activated, you can detach one XYZ material from this card, and the activated effect becomes destroy one spell or trap card your opponent controls. So if your opponent plays Dark Hole, you can turn it into an MST. Right? Secondary effect is you can detach a material. Both players shuffle their hands back into the deck if they have any cards in their hands, and draws the same amount of cards they had in their hand. If your opponent has no cards in his hand, he still has to shuffle his deck, just because it's part of the effect, right? Gotta love that. Crimson Knight Vampire Bram. Detach one material from this card to target one monster in your opponent's graveyard. Special summon at target to your side of the field. Doesn't matter what battle position you choose, but that attack position would probably be a good choice, because that's the only monster that you have that can attack for the rest of that turn. During the standby phase of the next turn, after this card you control is destroyed by your opponent's card effects or by battle, this card can special summon itself and face up defense. So that's always good. So that way you pretty much guarantee a monster on the field, right? Nice little floater. This is Gustav Bax. Detach a material, deal 2,000 points of damage to your opponent, and he can still attack the turn he uses that effect. And this is the end of the deck profile.